So this comes from Sky Sports, and they say the Premier League has failed to secure agreement for a new financial settlement for English football amid a continued stalemate between its clubs. Sky News has learned that a planned vote at the shareholder meeting on Monday afternoon was scrapped after it became clear that it would not win support from the majority of the 14 clubs that would be required to get it over the line. So you need 14 from the 20 clubs. They go on to say the meeting is likely to have been the last opportunity to agree the proposed £836 million deal before the government introduces legislation to establish a new football regulator. So time and time again, it feels like the Premier League is embarrassing itself. They can't agree a package for the Championship clubs or the clubs in the Football League. Okay, I'm sure they'll figure that out. But right now, there are bigger fish to fry. We have an agreement that looks like it's on its way to being reached, where Premier League clubs are going to actually, do you know what? Again, I'm going to go to my notes because I want to make sure I word this correctly. So Premier League clubs, according to a proposal put forward, are going to be limited to spending 70% of their revenues on transfer fees to bring the Premier League in line with those in Europe. Now, there are a couple of caveats to this. This would, of course, bring us in line with UEFA's policies. They are going to have a sliding scale. So for 85% of your revenue downwards, they're going to have a sliding scale to get you from 85% down towards 70%. But what it also does is favour the bigger clubs. And I say this as a fan of one of the bigger clubs. If you've got clubs having to spend, let's say, 75% of your revenue, then of course a club like Liverpool, Manchester United, anybody else at the top end of the table would have infinitely more money than clubs at the bottom end of the table. So bigger transfer budgets, making it once again more difficult for clubs at the lower end to be able to compete. But I guess they have to do something. And if it brings it in line with Europe, as long as it's actually punishable, unlike the European one, which every time it goes to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, it seems to be overturned. The Premier League, they don't have to adhere to that. The Court of Arbitration for Sport has no power over the Premier League.